Ford presents Venture Libre.
This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
And Erg.
Yeah, kind of works. I laughed, but then I thought about it too much, and then I was like, no, it's fine.
Yeah. We're in weird episode. we're in the season 5 weird ones.
Yep.
Which is most of them. Season 5 is weird.
It is. It's one of those funny things because they genuinely seem happier. Like this has gone a lot more smoothly. But I don't want there to be an inverse relationship. Like I don't want like every good episode to be the result of suffering on their part in the production cycle.
Yeah. But still. Well, it's also in the commentary, Doc is really putting the screws to Jackson in this one in a real subtle way. Like, just like, so why would you ever do this? What was this about?
Yeah.
Like, it's really confrontational and weird.
Yeah. And just and not really doing a follow up, just letting Jackson's kind of like non-answer just kind of hang there for a while.
It's really violent.
Yeah.
There's big guppy energy for some reason on the commentaries. On this.
Oh man.
But yeah, Doc's not wrong. It's a real weird episode.
Mm-hmm. It has probably like one of my top 3 favorite gags in the show.
Well, I can't wait to hear which one it is.
Yeah, to stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned. This is to me this is real Midland, but it's not a death march or anything.
Yeah,
it's fine. This episode written by Jackson Public. Originally aired on June 9th, 2013, and it's a follow-up to Viva Los Muertos. That episode, the one with the Scooby Gang.
Yep.
If you remember, the Groovy Gang. This brings back Venturestein, except now he's a revolutionary in Central America. And it also brings back Groovy.
Does it bring back Groovy?
Or not Groovy, the Shaggy.
Oh, is he one of the dead people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shaggy and Fred.
Huh.
Like both Ted are both zombies.
I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't notice that it was them. Weird.
Yeah. Well, because that's who he sells them to when like the army shows up at the end of Viva Los Muertos. And he's like, "We'll take 100 or whatever," and Venture starts counting the corpses on his floor.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that a couple of the abominations were Hank and Dean clones that were dead.
Oh yeah,
he reanimated, which is a very special kind of fucked up. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is rich with Venture history.
And even though this isn't like a favorite episode, I do enjoy when they bring back when they pick up their old toys, right? When nothing, and if nothing goes away forever. Yeah.
It's done much more successfully in Mommy's Boys.
Yes.
This season, I think, with bringing back Ted and bringing back Myra.
Yes.
I think that's significantly better done. This is a Ben Edlund idea. So he is the person who created the Tick, also wrote Viva Los Muertos. And he's like, hey, what if Venturestein went off to be a soldier in the army?
Yeah.
And they decided to go with it.
Yeah. And Jackson had wanted to do this as early as season 3, but it never really worked out. And this kind of fit in season 5 because they wanted to get some of the like globe-trotting adventure back, get a little bit of the genre parody pastiche coming in, and kind of doing like they put it a season 1 plot in the voice of season 5.
Yes, and they wanted to bring Rusty back.
Yes,
like it's his show. And I love Doc.
Yes,
so. I'm way in favor of that. They put it really succinctly in the commentary. They're like, well, I want to get him on a plane again.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the X1 and actually in action for a while.
Right. 21 brought it back covered in graffiti, and that was about it.
That was it. Originally, this was also going to be the episode where Dean found out he was a clone, but Doc said, hey, this episode has too much going on for that. Put that in my episode instead. That might get lost. I don't know if I think that is true.
Right.
I like the Halloween special for how it works, but I don't necessarily feel like that this episode didn't have things they could cut or whatever, but it is how it worked out.
Yeah, the original plan for how they were going to do it is funny. Dean showing up an inside helper at the end and undercutting Rusty's point about how he gave Venturestein a second crack at life. You know, just saying like, no, you like, like, you know, lies. All the stuff you say that you're doing for good is actually still horrible, and I'm your son. So yeah.
You know, I'm a little convinced by Rusty's argument. At the end of this, like they were dead, like they didn't have anything going on. You know, that would have been a really good moment. Yeah, and it would have made the helper subplot of this make sense.
Yes,
or like feel necessary. You know, it ends up it's a weird weird episode. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Doc does not like this episode.
Nope.
Like he hates Venturestein. He doesn't know why anyone would ever want to write for Venturestein.
He only has one little blurb in the art book, and it's like I think Venturestein is a script killer, is what he called it. And I do not understand the desire to bring him back, and that was it.
He spends a lot of the commentary saying similar things. And then also there's a weird character in this. There's Congresswoman Backwood, who's real weird in this as well. Yeah. Like, again, I don't think Doc's necessarily wrong because it's a weird fucking character. But he's just kind of like, why it's like the exit interview that Michael Scott gives. Where it's like he has the questions for Toby, and it's like, where do you get off? You know,
what gives you the right?
Yeah. He basically just says that, like, what were you? Why did you do this? And then just lets Jackson like twist in the wind.
Yeah, and Jackson gives his answer saying, "Oh, the election was happening, and I was annoyed by Sarah Palin, but I didn't want it to be too specific. I don't think they should do like electoral political humor."
No, it doesn't work.
Welcome to State Dinner didn't necessarily pan out. This is really a poor use of Jillian Jacobs.
Sure. Yeah. And she does fine. You know, but it's very stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That subplot also doesn't really go anywhere.
Nope. It's just there to give a button at the end.
What a weird fucking episode this is. Also weird is we get some Sergeant Hatred backstory.
We do.
And this doesn't bother me. This apparently bothered a lot of fans. So Hatred, they made some references to him being a super soldier before. This shows the flashback of Traster injecting him, showing his like empathy levels going down and his testosterone levels going up. And then he like tackles a kid.
Yeah.
The implication being that part of his super serum stuff aggravated and or caused his pedo tendencies.
Yes. And so there were two camps. There were people who felt like this was the boys trying to like explain away and justify the pedophile jokes from the previous season. And there were also people who were into Hatred's condition and saying, oh, you were actually doing a pretty serious look at the demons that people carry around, and you also kind of frame this up as an addiction. That was cool. Turning this into wacky super science undercuts that.
Yeah.
I'm also I don't feel strongly about it.
No, I don't care that much. It's fine. It makes sense because what else, you know, Sergeant Hatred had to get into the game somehow. You know, and this is fine to me. It doesn't necessarily, it leaves plausible deniability. You know, this might have, he like tackles a kid, in like violently.
Well, so this doesn't, and he uses his mouth to rip off the kid's underoos before they wrestle him away.
Yeah. He's trying to snap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah.
It doesn't, this could still be, that could be a thing that he had before. And now he's just aggro. Like it doesn't feel, non-compatible.
Yeah. Also, this is a very so this in a roundabout way explains why they gave like how Hatred got his breasts, but they also say like, oh yeah, that was just something we thought would be funny, so we did it.
Yes.
The idea being
and that is estrogen.
Yes.
Which is used to treat pedophiles because testosterone, like pedophiles have an increased amount of testosterone.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. Bodies are weird. Minds are weird. bodies among the same thing.
Testosterone is a hell of a fucking drug.
Yep.
Like, I'm not trying to make any kind of excuse, but when I was in the throes of testosterone as a teen, like, I'm not, again, not excusing anything, just for the record, not excusing any kind of anything.
I mean, it causes any number of evils and ills in our society, not just this.
Yes. Yeah. That is what I'm trying to get to. And it's a very, like, it made me feel out of my mind.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of the time. Not so much that I did anything, but, you know, anything horrible, but it did make me feel fucking crazy.
Yes.
You know, that's all I'm trying to say.
I said caused. That's incorrect. I should say it is correlative and it exacerbates any number of evils in our society.
Yes.
There we go. Good
Lord. Put this through a wokeness filter that is satisfactory to you.
Yep.
We're not trying to say evil things.
We're trying, I swear.
Yeah. I just am trying to relate my own experience getting absolutely blasted with testosterone and masturbating 20 times a day.
It hijacks your mind. It is a weird it is a weird psychic poison that your body creates.
Gave myself so many fucking rusty ventures out of this world. Like, just it's amazing I still have a dick and it's not worn down to like a nub.
Yeah, just
like some kind of weird acorn that pisses.
Yeah, just yanking it off like you were starting a lawnmower.
Yeah. And it just wouldn't start like a lawnmower, you know, such as the ones we had in the 90s. Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So in the cold open, it's breakfast time in the Venture kitchen. Dean is pushing away at his food. He's got eggs and bacon. He's a vegetarian now because they just decided to go a whole hog on the fuck you dad aspect of this.
Yeah. Again, it's goodbye fun, Dean. No good jokes or anything for Dean this episode.
I don't need anything
this is your favorite joke. I forgot that this is really good.
Hank asked for some coffee. He's jonesing for some coffee, and Rusty's like, oh no, the last time you had dark chocolate, you went around destroying walls all around the compound to install Murphy bed. Like, no, Murphy beds. You still haven't found all of them. I'm that good. That's amazing. That is really good. This
episode peaks pretty early.
It really does when the Murphy bed is revealed. Like the way that it pays off.
That's the kind of thing like in Arrested Development, it would be an ongoing joke.
Yes,
you know, and sadly they kind of forget about it.
They do, but just the you know, like of all the things that are to be liked about Hank, the fact that he gets into this into this meth mania and just starts going, and the way that it manifests isn't cleaning or anything. It is going around and installing Murphy beds, because what kid doesn't want Murphy beds, right?
They are great. As someone who slept on a Murphy bed,
I know, magical.
They're pretty cool.
You know,
it's very cool.
You've lived life in a way that I have not lived life, because you have rested your head upon a Murphy bed.
Viva la Hanked. A chopper lands on the roof, and military guys start storming in through the windows and everything. Dean just very notably excuses himself.
Yeah.
They hand Rusty a J-Pad, which is the Jonas Venture Jr. iPad. We've seen JJ Jr.'s Apple stuff as early as season 2.
Yeah.
With the ad with him dancing with the iPod. This is General Man Hours.
Welcome back.
He's welcome back. Call back already. Calling in warranty on some ordnance that Rusty sold him. He's like, well, what do you need me for? He's like, well, I'll only talk to you.
Right.
And he shows him a picture of Venturestein as the big reveal.
Yes. He's dressed up as a revolutionary. He's got the beret. He's got the band. He's got the ammo belt on. All that kind of stuff. So we're doing kind of a Heart of Darkness kind of deal. We're going after Colonel Kurtz.
A lot of parodies on top of parodies in this one.
Yes. Yeah, pretty dense. So Dean is not going to go on the mission. Instead, he's going to hang around. He talks to Helper, who's like really bummed out. He's not happy being a walking eye. Like, this was a violence that Rusty did. So Dean is going to help him out.
Yes. We go to the X1 where everyone else is. Man Hours gives us briefing on the J-Pad about it. You know, Rusty misses the smoke-filled rooms, that old touch. Basically, these communist rebels were threatening this government-friendly, our government-friendly government of Puerto Bahia, and the U.S. wants to help or put it down and help their president out, but they didn't want to have their fingerprints on it, so they sent in the Venturesteins as suicide bombers. Unfortunately, the leader of the Venturesteins went native, went off with the other soldiers.
Yes. And because the radioactive dye was used in the manufacture of these guys, they brought Rusty in, and he can use the J-pad to track the soldiers. This is kind of just a setup for a bad "there's an app for that" joke, which Man Hour says, but then that is redeemed somewhat by Hank saying, "Oh, you mean there's a trap for that?" Hank is going full Predator on this. He thinks that this is a trap. They're being lured in by Venturestein because he wants to do a Frankenstein confrontation with his maker.
Yeah. All this is very dated and weird. And the reliance of this plot on the iPad, it feels so weird now.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like it's selling me an iPad.
A little bit,
you know? It's a very plot important device in this. It does everything.
It even blows up a person.
Yeah, no, it's very it's real strange. The idea is if so he says if Venturestein goes all Roy Batty on him, talking about Tears and Rain and stuff, which Hank suggests first, like he's gonna be there in bicycle shorts. Rusty can hit the cherry bomb icon on the J-pad, which will blow it up and then run.
Yeah. So they're flying in, they get into controlled airspace, and the radio tries to tell them, like, hey, turn away. But then a flying dinosaur attacks. It is a pteranodon. And
from Johnny Quest.
Yep.
It is, there are two monsters from this. They're from a specific Johnny Quest episode. This and the giant lobster crab thing.
This is on the cover of the DVD.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hank just decides to leave. Jump out of the plane. They've really got a little laissez-faire with Hank, despite the fact that he's the only Hank.
Yeah. Well, he just says, like, all right, where I'm going to inject. If you guys get lost in this shit, let's rendezvous at 2400. Like, he just goes full, he just goes full commando, and jumps out, thinking that he has put on a parachute, but for some reason they have a jetpack, and he goes flying.
Yeah. It's real madcap.
Yeah.
This section, like, it's real low on jokes and real, like, whoa, like very Jerry Lewis or something. Yeah.
I like Hank saying, "Oh, if you get lost in the shit," just because I like him assuming the persona, whatever costume he's in.
It's good. It's good, Hank.
Yes.
The Hank in this episode is pretty impeccable. The way everyone acts around Hank is a little weird.
Yeah.
But he's very good. So the X1 starts coming apart. Hadrian hits the ejector, but everything falls away except for the cockpit. Because which is good. The dinosaur has that its claws. He shoots the dinosaur, which causes them to fall.
Yeah. Back at the compound, Dean has put on his hairnet because he's going to be doing some delicate electronic work, and he goes looking for Helper's original blueprints. And as he's looking for the closet where the plans are, he opens up a door, and it's not a closet; it's a Murphy bit that falls on him. So there's the payoff. Good. Yeah, this was
finding those blueprints is where he would have found his clone materials.
Yes, he would have found all of the notes about the clone tanks and the plan to keep them alive for forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the doorbell rings, and in comes another, like, weirdly dated character. This is
so dated.
Yeah,
we get dated episode of this show.
Yeah, we get Marcia Backwood, which is weird because she's supposed to be a mix between Sarah Palin and Michelle Bachmann, but there is also a Tennessee Republican now named Marcia Blackwood, which is weird. Just a kind of a strange coincidence. But she's here. She's wearing a red suit, and she's talking in a thick Southern accent. And she assumes that Dean is a Hispanic gardener, even though he is very clearly as lily white as the driven snow. And she is speaking to him in broken Spanish, asking where his dad is because she wants to do some constituent outreach.
Yes, Dean tells her to leave, and she, her dad is gone. You can call man hours. Mm-hmm. So she's upset about this. She's going to go talk to him, and then also find out if the gardener is legal, because Republicans are evil and they like to sniff around shit like that. Mm-hmm. Dean goes back, tries to turn off Helper, but Helper just got an alert.
Yes.
He panics, runs through the wall. This is because Rusty in the jungle has just pressed the location, thinking he brought Helper. Hatred's like, we didn't bring Helper, right?
Yep.
He's like, God damn it.
This isn't the first time they've done the Rusty's forgotten where Helper is, so he presses the button and summons him across the world. I do enjoy it when it happens. But
yeah, it's a cute joke. We spend a lot of time with it. Like, I love watching Helper bisect that whale from the inside.
Yep.
But at the same time, like, it is a weird pacing thing in this episode, like, for all that Helper ends up doing.
I think I am just so starved. I am so starved for Helper content that I'm just happy when Helper's on screen. He just does those beeps and I start clapping and cheering. Yay.
I would, it's very good, and it would be very good in another episode.
Yes. Yeah.
This just is such a weird stitched together, like, appropriately enough, stitched together, like, episode.
Yeah. Oh man. So they got separated from the J-pad in the crash, and Man Hours is like, "Hey, where are you at? All I'm getting is Sky here." Centipede crawls over it and he gets grossed out, but then somebody steps up. Somebody that Man Hours recognizes steps up to pick up the device. It is Venturestein. All right.
Yes. I like this bit of Rusty complaining about the jungle.
Everything's alive.
The jungle does seem fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
Just sweaty and huge bugs, and just, that will kill you if they touch you.
Mm-hmm.
I love the stick bug. See the stick? No.
No, you don't.
Everything is a bug. Like, very good. A bunch of humanimals creep up on them. So they decide to hide, and Hatred's like, I'm going to create a diversion.
Mm-hmm.
And he runs out, tells the cat Cheetah Man that Jocelyn Wildenstein wants her face back, and runs away, which is his only plan, which is horseshit.
Yeah, because he can't run. He thought he could outrun a cheetah man. This
is real good. He's like, cheetahs can't climb. They don't have this certain kind of claw. And he's like, neither do I. Like, what makes you think I can just climb a tree like that?
Did you know who Jocelyn Wildenstein was before this?
It's the cat lady.
Yeah, it's the New York socialite. What's her name on It's Always Sunny? Who got catified through plastic surgery. Yes, Maureen Ponderosa was also a parody of her.
In the world of compulsive plastic surgery, those weird cryptid twins died.
They did, yes.
Recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wish they would just
you said cryptid, which is funny.
Yeah, those guys are cryptids.
Okay.
I've never seen two guys who are more cryptids than those guys. And the difference between when you call people cryptids is they do it for themselves.
Okay. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So they're victims of like science. I wish they would just admit it.
So that's one of those things. Did those guys, those French crypto twins, did they deny having any plastic surgery done to them? They did. So does Jocelyn Wildenstein. I did a look. There's a quote on her Wikipedia which says like, no, that's not plastic surgery. It's just my Swiss genes or something. And like, she should be like, the Swiss should sue her.
Yeah,
those neutral
the Swiss
bastards
aren't turning into cats the same way that like French people are not turning into like the mask from Winona's Big Brown Beaver, video, like,
or the mask from the Rocky Dennis movie, The Mask.
Yeah, just terrifying.
Yeah,
I was talking to Derek about it, and he was like, "I'm not gonna lie, I feel a lot safer now."
That is really funny.
It got a big laugh out of me. He's like, I'm not a bad person, but I feel a lot safer. I'm like, yeah, man, those guys were roaming the earth.
Yeah. There was nothing stopping them from getting to you.
Yeah. They could be anywhere. Like anytime you look up at the door frame in the night, like one of them could be staying there or both.
Yeah. I mean, and also like they were COVID deniers and they were crypto dudes. So they did wish us harm. Yeah.
They did wish us harm. They were killing the environment and wanted to spread disease, and they lived by the sword and they died by the sword.
Yep.
Anywho, Rusty goes to run and a big crab knocks him out. Hank wakes up. He's slept through the day. He's been knocked out. He starts working in his war journal, like the Punisher, on his watch, which I like. Judging by the rumble in my tummy, it's been at least 4 hours.
That is so good.
And he grabs some berries. And these are not poison berries. These are coffee beans.
Yes.
Because he has a caffeine sensitivity that's going to result in much diarrhea and very few Murphy beds here in the jungle.
Yeah. He's in the middle of this gigantic coffee plantation is where it gets lost. So he's going to be eating this exclusively, which will let him pass over the threshold into an altered state. So Rusty gets woken up by this hairless rat that's got a human ear on its back. Actual thing, creepy as fuck. It's not naturally occurring. They made one. Sorry, I should probably say.
Yeah. It is actual, but it's a construct.
Yes.
We grew a human ear on the back of a rat.
Yeah.
Again, this episode is being ripped from the headlines. You know, it's really weirdly placed firmly when it came out.
So Venturestein looms over Rusty and then picks him up by the neck and screams, "Father!" Kind of hugging him around his neck with the hands, and he apologizes, saying, "Oh, old habits die hard." And he's speaking more clearly. Rusty compliments him on his diction now, but his syntax is not improved. And there's just apparently something about the Frankensteinification that changes the way people talk.
Yeah, he still talks in Frankenstein bad word orders.
Yes.
Rusty says, "Oh, well, the army's been really good to you. They should take you back." And he says, no, I defected. And he explains basically what's happened. The idea was they were just going to be a bunch of suicide bombers. This was a self-terminating when they were discovered, and this upset him. And what gave him the strength to not do this is he saw Jorge, the sweatshop worker from the Father Teach films. We recall Venturestein being put in the learning bed and learning how to make shoes and work in a sweatshop. Maybe the most obscure character callback.
Possibly.
That's ever been in the show.
Yeah.
Jorge.
I mean, definitely an obscure character who was brought back for a prominent plot reason, right? They bring back background characters all the time. But yeah, a wild pull on Jorge. My favorite detail about this is later you see that he just when he's stressed, he goes back to making shoes. It's just a thing that he does to soothe stress.
He's just been sewing shoes everywhere. Venturestein is a cute character in this.
So Jorge is based. He took Venturestein in and taught him about the exploitation of the proletariat, gives him some Che Guevara, and Venturestein joined in the revolution, kind of working against the government here. And Rusty just calls this regular adolescent rebelliousness, which is fun. Oh, my dean's going through the same thing back at home.
The Cheetah Man runs in, who we've seen before, saying, this scientist has to pay for the death of Turu. He's like, was Turu a pterodactyl? He's like, pterodon. And Venturestein, see, he's not even good at science. The idea here is that this crew, we're going to find this out more later, but it's first revealed here, has a grudge against scientists.
Yes.
In general.
All of them
scientists are bad.
Yeah. All of these are abominations, and they have kind of localized here because mad scientists, they love the jungle.
Yes. Before he leaves, he's just he's a cheetah man. He's standing, he's wearing pants, takes a piss on the wall, which I like.
He marked territory.
Carl marked territory.
He said not so subtle message.
So they explain basically, the jungle is full of unethical, horrible scientists, and he liberated all the experiments after he became a revolutionary. And we see we see a couple little montages of him doing this. And whenever they show a crowd scene, it's pretty fun. There's a couple Oompa Loompas in there. There's the man thing. He shows up. I like man thing just being there.
I like the Chia Pet.
Yep, Chia Pet. Later when they show everyone coming in the boat, there's some good little Easter eggs as well.
Yeah. So Venturestein, he wants to, the reason that he wanted Rusty, he wants Rusty to convince these other scientists, hey, you need to stop doing what you're doing. They're victims here. We're people. And Rusty says, kind of honestly, I don't really have a lot of sway in the science community nowadays. This plan isn't going to work out like you think it's gonna.
Yeah. But of course he grabs the J-pad as soon as he gets a chance to try to blow it up.
Yes.
Here, Venturestein sees this, unfortunately. and orders Rusty be carried away before actually saying, wait, the army box can make internet? He can go online, which he wants to do. Hank tosses and turns next to the bonfire. His eyes are all bloodshot. This is because he just ate a bunch of coffee beans.
Mm-hmm. I vomited.
And we go back to his monologue.
I vomited and diarrhea out whatever was left of my old life. My hanks run dry. I'm nothing but an empty vessel waiting for the jungle to fill me with a new purpose.
It's really good. He finds a temple ruin, this temple to an actual like Aztec bat god, whose name I can't remember, and he becomes the bat.
He does.
He's like, I will become the bat, even though he runs off to the bush to diarrhea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a little the old Hank. But yeah, this is his Batman origin. It's exceedingly cute.
Mm-hmm. Back in the U.S., Backwood charges into Man-Hour's office saying, "Hey, you kidnapped one of my constituents during an election year," which is ridiculous. Why would she care about just one person? Yep. And he explains, "Oh, Rusty volunteered to help out with this mission." He tries to explain the situation when they get an alert on the J-pad. It is Venturestein doing this kind of all points bulletin, doing a video address to all of the experiments out there. He has formed URGH, the United Repressed Grotesque Humanity.
Yep.
Yeah. And,
it's fine.
Yeah, he's doing like I said at the beginning, I laughed because it was cute, but then like repressed grotesque humanity is a bit of a stretch. I liked it more when he said to you, "We're forming an abomination." Nation, which is good.
Both to me are kind of like B- C+ lines. Like neither of which are knee slappers to me.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of him forming this like outer heaven for all of the Moreaus. Yeah.
It's a cute idea.
Yeah.
I'm glad in the commentary they brought up Urga Music War, because that's all I was thinking about during it.
Oh, the famous performance, the famous performance of Down in the Park. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very good. Mm-hmm. And also a great name for a movie. Mm-hmm. The whole idea here is Man-Hours is mad about this, but Backwood is gone, because Backwood's going to go on a jungle mission to save a single voter, because who cares?
Right.
Like this plot's a fucking mess. We do get to see this giant squid take down a whale, and then from inside the whale, it gets bisected by a laser, cutting them both in half. This helper making his way here. That's a great scene.
Yeah.
And then Hank is all, again, this episode and the next episode are both Hank ultra competence episodes. Him in the bat costume just starts taking out armed gorillas one by one.
Yep. Just like setting traps for them, doing actual Batman ass moves. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So Hatred is tossing and turning. He's on his cot in a cell, and he's having nightmares. All of the super science around him has recovered a memory. Nightmares about the super soldier experiments that were done on him. Him being injected with the Soldier X formula. And this serum, it's shown, is what makes him into a pedophile. Like he gets all bulgy and his muscles go big. And then, Traster's son is the kid that he attacks. And you remember Traster's son was in season 1. He's the one who gives the exam to Brock when he goes to renew his
license to kill.
Yeah,
he loses his license to kill. Mm-hmm. This is obviously a Captain America style thing. Yeah, him getting the super soldier serum. He wakes up in a cell with Rusty here. I do like the Hatred moment that comes later with this. All the other experiments are demanding that they hand Rusty over for execution. They're talking about, he's like, no, we don't need to do that. We have all of our brothers coming here. And I love this bit where one of them's like, how are we going to feed them? Like, we have no infrastructure. We have no plan. Yeah. There's no water or beds, like, you idiot.
Yeah. Just like, we need real leadership, which is kind of true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Eventually they, and he says, Carl says that he should be the leader, but he gets interrupted by a Black Lagoon monster, asking Carl what their leaders would do about the bat.
Yes.
And Rusty and Hatred are both like, Hank.
Yeah.
Well, know it is.
There's a little bit of like bickering back and forth between the abominations that probably could have been shorn away, which is like, wait a minute, do we have a bat guy? Like, what? Is there a bat hybrid here? Like, no, actually, it's somebody dressed like a bat. There's confusion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very messy plot.
Yeah. So the hybrids go charging out into the jungle to look for the bat, but they run right past him. Hank is up on the wall. He looks through his hands like they're binoculars and sees that Hatred and Rusty are safe before following them out to deal with the hybrids.
And he takes them out. Mm-hmm. He does a little snare trap, jumps down into this campfire, billows smoke out, distracts them, takes them all out. Carl sees him and he flies away on his jetpack. Mm-hmm. Just incredible Hank stuff. He is again ultra competent.
Yep.
At this point.
Yeah.
So he goes to the returns to the compound here. Tells Man Hours he has everything under control. Which is a weird move for him. Mm-hmm. Venturestein sees Hank, and he's gonna, you think he's gonna strangle him, and then he puts on his own Batman mask. Mm-hmm. Gives Hank the keys to the cell. If you remember, Venturestein left yelling Batman and prostitute.
Yes.
At the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
Prostitute.
Prostitute. Yeah. And also he had the Batman mask. So Hank frees the adults, but Hatred, this is the moment you were alluding to that you enjoyed. Hatred wants to stay. He wants to live here because he feels a kinship with the other experiments. He was experimented on, and it kind of ruined his life. He says, I want to spend my autumn years in a place where I'll be accepted with a vaguely paramilitary vibe and absolutely no children whatsoever.
It's very funny and specific to me.
Yeah.
And Carl comes in with a machine gun. He's like, kill the humans. Hatred goes, fuck it. Hey, fuck this.
Yeah. To the Hankmobile. But
and the Hankmobile is that the crab, which has the rockets attached to it. I love the dead crab car that he made. Like, that's very funny.
Yeah, and again, the fun little payoff. He killed the crab and he ate all of the insides to hollow it out to make it into the car.
Mm-hmm. Tons of crab. So they get to the shore there. Hank activates the timer on the J-pad and throws it into a tree. He counts down. It doesn't say the last two numbers like Wayne's World, as we all know.
Love that.
It doesn't say the one and the two. Nope. It doesn't explode, though, because it got wet. Carl, the cheetah man, comes out and explains that.
Yeah, saying, it's a jungle. You avoid the warranty. It's all a huge thing. And Hank collapses, saying he shouldn't have had that big crab dinner. Just a funny moment, like, Hank, tell us you have a bad boat or something here.
Yeah, just they're relying on Hank's weird ultra competence.
Yeah.
This is where Rusty makes his case. This is where Dean would have showed up.
Yes.
Where he's like, they were, what they were before I did my science, dead. Yeah. He's making the argument that like he's not like sewing dogs onto people.
Right.
He's giving people another chance at life, which is, even if the chance is shitty, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah. He said before he was dead, he was a servant for a dick dressed up in a butterfly costume. So like, yeah. And then
my favorite bit here is Helper showing up on the beach and then Rusty immediately backtracking on his speech and going, oh, thank God, Helper kill these people.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, just a more direct solution to this? Cool. Helper, you got this.
Yeah, that's my favorite little bit. But everyone shows up. Yeah. All the people who have been called from Venturestein. So we get like, a human centipede and like the dog from Invasion of the Body Snatchers and stuff.
Yep.
Very funny.
Love it. And then, of course, with all this arriving, we get one more backwoods chopper lands. And she's still speaking to everybody in broken Spanish, I guess, assuming because she's in this Latin American country. But then she bends down to pick up the J-pad asking, hey, has anybody lost an iPad? And then she explodes. And Rusty, we get the ending. Rusty cracks his knuckles and says, yeah, I can fix this. That would have been at Jonestown. Like a senator died at Jonestown, or a congressman died at Jonestown. Yeah.
The what's weird is this: the nation exists. Our post credits is zombie backwood going to the end, talking about the situation. These abominations and making a call for them. That's a real weird thing to just have in the world and never bring back.
Yeah,
is that there's Urg. Rusty calls the kids to come watch, but Hank is in his Hanko practicing with Shallow Gravy. Helper is now Helper again, but his drum machine is ruined.
Yes, Dean has changed the synthesizer, breaking it away from the Casio rumba beat number 2. Yeah.
Yes. What a weird mess. Like, good Hank stuff. It's not a death march, but like, God, structurally, this is really not very good, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you can tell, like, going in and watching it and listening to the commentary and reading the art book, like one of the major places where I think Jackson diverts from us, and maybe even from Doc as well, is that the actual, like, the something looking good or a good piece of animation, like if an episode comes back looking good, that covers over a lot for him,
Yes. Yeah, he's too close to the jokes and stuff.
Yeah,
to where they're just not as impressive to him. I think. Whereas for me, this show like lives and dies on writing.
Yeah.
Exclusively. Like, I like how it looks, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It could be a comic and I would still like it.
Yes.
I'm not an animation guy in a general sense. It's just not something that impresses me that much.
Yeah.
So like when, a Batmobile will take off and the creators will be like, whoa, how good that looks,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Just long conversations in the commentary about, like, some stuff needs to be on the 1s and some stuff's on the 2s. Just pretty in the weeds animation details, and I think that colors maybe some of Jackson's impressions about which episodes work better. Yeah,
he's not like, and it should be noted, it's not like the commentary is Doc being like, this episode's dog shit, and Jackson be like, no way, this is my my masterpiece.
Right. Yeah.
Jackson also is just kind of like, this is they both seem like they have a pretty realistic idea about what this is.
Yeah.
To me, the crazy thing about it is just how many elements, like, it's so overstuffed and yet only kind of barely hangs together. Like, there's just a lot, like the Backwoods stuff, Man-Hour stuff. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't really go anywhere satisfying in it. It's just a Hank episode, and I would have almost rather had, like, just do the Hank bit of this.
Yeah.
Like, make a Hank highlight episode. And go all Hank.
Yeah.
Despite there are a couple other moments that are good, but Hank saves this episode for sure.
He does. Which he can do. Like, he's like the rare character who can save an episode.
Yeah. Hank is good.
Yeah. And I will be forever grateful for this this episode for the Murphy bed joke.
Yeah, that is a really good joke.
Yeah.
I think the next episode's Sphinx Rising, but then we got Spanakopita.
Yes.
Spanakopita is a real season highlight.
It is. It's sweet.
I do not remember very much about Sphinx Rising, so
yeah,
curious to revisit.
Yep. I don't know that I have anything more to say about it. But no. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Happy New Year. If you like this show, head on over to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, get episodes a week early and get bonus shows and support your boys.
Yeah. Leave a rating or review at whatever podcast directory you get this on, and come back next week.
Indeed. And until next time,
go Team Venture.